Hey guys, what's up? Friday night, gonna make you a video. Here we go. We've got some graphing practice here, and what I want you to do is to take this D versus T graph, it's a D versus T graph, and make a V versus T graph. Now remember guys, how do we travel from here to here? Well, the way to get here is to find the slope. Now why is the slope so important? Because the slope of this graph is velocity. So you're going to take this graph, find your slopes, and transform it over into this graph. Okay? Let's get this off there and let's get to work. So let's get 3 points. We're going to go 1, 2, and actually 4 points. I lied. 3, 4. And now, see, these are our key points, guys. This is when the motion of our object changes. You see, here we have a constant negative slope or constant negative velocity. Here we have a constant positive slope or constant positive velocity. And here we have a constant negative slope again, but it's a different value than before. Okay, now I want to look at these times, the x component, because the thing that these two graphs have in common is the x-axis, which is time. And you should see, oh my goodness, they look exactly alike. All right, now the y-axis are obviously different. So we have one of our key points is going to be here at time 0. Another one is at time 5. One is at time 6. And the other one is at time 12. Okay? Now let's label these points with some generic letters that I just came up with. A, B, C, D. And these are their points over here. A, B, C, and D. Okay, very cool. So now let's give ourselves some space. We're going to go down a little bit. Now once again, we're going to take the slopes from here, because the slope of this graph, a displacement versus time graph, is velocity, and we're going to take that and use that to plot our points on a velocity versus time graph. Okay, let's do it. Now the first thing I'm going to do is find my points. So I'm just going to go through and get all of them. A is going to be 0, 9. 0, 9. B is in fact 5, 1. C is 6, 8. 6, 8. That is C. And then last but not least is D. And D is going to be 5, 12. Oh, no, I made a mistake. D, let me make a better D. D is 12, 5. Sorry. It's Friday. 12, 5. Okay, so now I'm going to take my slope from A to B, and that's going to tell me the value for my velocity graph from A to B. So let's take a look. Now remember, we know what slope is. Slope equals delta y over delta x, or we can say it as y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay. And we usually go from left to right. So here's my first term, here's my second term. So I'm going to take my second y, which is 1, minus my first y, which is 9, and go over 5 minus 0, which is my second x, minus my first x. And that's going to give me a negative 8/5. Okay. Now that's our slope from A to B, and what we do with that information is we come to this graph and we find out where 8/5 would be, and it's going to be, it's over 1. Let's make it a little bit better than that. It goes from here to here. Excellent. Now, our next one is from B to C. So let's get back to this tool and let's go down a little bit and give ourselves some room. We're going B to C. So here's my second term, C is my second term, so I'm going to go 8 minus 1, second term minus first, 6 minus 5, and what we're going to get is 7 over 1, which is positive. Now I'm leaving my units off tonight, guys. Please don't give me any strife for that. Everything should have its units, but right now I'm just going through pretty quickly, and I'm being a bad role model for a little bit. But I just want to get this done. So here is that section. And to be honest, let's put some dotted lines here. Let's go. And we'll save the last dotted line for later. Okay, so there's our dotted lines. So now, we have to find our last slope, which is the point between C and D. So let's go down here and look at our C and D points. Here's C and D. And we're going to take D as our second point. So we're going to go 5 minus 8 divided by 12 minus 6. And that's going to give me negative 3 over 6, which equals negative 1/2. Oh, that's not negative 1/2, Andy. Minus 6 equals negative 1/2. Okay, so this is the slope for C to D. 6 equals negative 1/2. I'm just going to stop there for now. Alright, and this is our slope for C to D. And for those of you guys who want to remember, just because you're looking at this mess, this is B to C, and this is A to B. Okay, so we have negative 1/2, our last thing to plot. So we're going to come up here. We're going to go, this is from C to B, and here we're at negative 1/2, and it goes over. And there we go. And let me add my dotted line, and I will be absolutely done. Dot, 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 dot. Excellent. So guys, here is what your graph should look like. I mean, you could have some dotted lines here too, but it doesn't really matter. And this should go all the way over. Let's just, okay, there we go. Pretty good looking graph. Let's do another one after the break.